Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Monday and happy early 4th of July. I know we're getting really close now. It is July 3rd, and another kind of fun statistic I saw the other day was that we are more than halfway through 2023. So that is pretty crazy to think about. Feels like just yesterday was New Year's Day, and now here we are working our way through the second half of 2023. Another fun thing that I kind of was thinking about, and actually Mitch West posted about this on his Twitter, which I'm sure most of you know Mitch. He's pretty big here on the YouTube scene, and I'm credited a lot of my followers to him and all of the support he's given me. So shout out to Mitch there. But something he talked about was that now is really the time whenever we start thinking about fall. The second we get past 4th of July, summer kind of begins to shut down in the back of people's minds, and we start looking forward to fall. At least I know I myself am definitely that way. I love fall. I love the changing leaves. I love football. I love pumpkin spice every now and then, of course, too. So exciting stuff as we continue to work our way on 2023. And I also just want to say thank you because now that we're halfway through, looking at the growth that we've seen is really impressive. We went from basically nothing on January 1st to now getting close to 1,500 subscribers, and we have a pretty consistent viewer base as well, and we've accomplished a lot this year. So just pretty cool stuff, and if the second half of 2023 is anything like the first half, we're going to have a pretty special year in store. With that said, though, let's go ahead and start talking about the weather some, because I do have work here today, and I definitely don't think my boss or myself wants me to be late. So with all that said, let's start looking at satellite imagery here. And today is a lot like what we've seen the past week. Afternoon thunderstorms causing some trouble, likely some severe thunderstorms today here into the mid-Atlantic, where we have just honestly a ton of instability out there. And if you look kind of closely here, into sections of eastern North Carolina, see these big white puffy clouds exploding. Those are thunderstorms that are beginning to feed off of this extremely unstable air, and will eventually likely wreak some havoc on some communities out here in this part of the country. And on radar, we can see a lot of that as well. So again, we have kind of some low pressure still spinning away here over Ohio. So with that, we're getting a lot of this flow behind it that is leading to the creation of these storms down into the southeast and mid-Atlantic. And because of that, we do have some severe thunderstorm watches up, as well as some severe thunderstorm watches up here through sections of the northeast and the mid-Atlantic and southeast there in those purple shaded areas. So again, one of those things we're definitely going to want to watch as we go throughout the rest of today. Now, looking at today's severe weather threat a little more specifically, we do have a slight risk from really kind of Charlotte up through Greensboro, back down towards the Fayetteville area, and that extends all the way up through Philadelphia, even through really the entire state of New Jersey, and even New York City today having the chance of some strong storms. Now, the real bullseye today will be in this enhanced risk, or this orange-colored area here into eastern Virginia, extreme northeastern North Carolina, kind of in the Elizabeth City area there, and up through the Delmarva. So again, we're going to get some pretty strong storms today, but I really don't think that it's going to be much of a surprise compared to what we have seen over the past couple of days. Now, looking at tomorrow, a whole lot of the same here, although a lesser risk of severe storms here into the southeast and mid-Atlantic. But we get more of a defined area out into the plains tomorrow for our 4th of July. So, anywhere in kind of these darker green areas and up here on the risk has the chance of some of these storms kind of messing with some of your 4th of July day plans, and definitely could cause some fireworks shows to get delayed or even canceled, maybe some barbecue problems, with the timing there. So we'll definitely watch out for that tomorrow. And then going into our Wednesday, more of the same as we get kind of a new piece of energy to slowly kind of begin to work into the lower 48. So taking a look at future radar here, again today, I should have let this load earlier, sorry about that, but today expect these showers and storms to form over the southeast and mid-Atlantic. Of course, that could cause some issues going into this afternoon, as we talked about, and then going into this evening, those storms will likely begin to fizzle out a little bit before going into tomorrow afternoon, we begin to see kind of another round of these afternoon showers and storms forming once again just about anywhere in the southeast or mid-Atlantic, and then with more of a defined severe weather threat back here over towards the plains. So again, this is just kind of a really typical summertime pattern with just maybe a bit more of a severe risk involved. So the reason that we're seeing kind of this severe weather is because of just how much energy we have in the atmosphere combined with all of this warm summertime heating. So as I kind of move this map ahead, and it'll show you kind of the pressure differences that we're seeing. And first of all, we are still seeing low pressure today kind of over sections of Ohio, and that is leading to the severe weather today. But as we go into the future and go into kind of earlier into this week that we are currently on, I guess, because now is Monday, watch this energy up here towards the plains. This is going to bring, once again, another round of severe weather as those blue colors work their way on into the lower 48. So you'll notice as we go through this week, that blue really begins to kind of work its way in. And as we get later into this week, you'll notice we get, a pretty defined kind of flow here. So notice how these lines are kind of facing down this way, if I could draw an arrow, that is. And what that is going to allow is even more of the stormy weather, pretty much. So we're going to get some pretty big time northwest flow. A lot of the times you hear that in the wintertime with snow, but we get it in the summertime too with storms. And basically what that means is, again, we're just going to see a continuation of last week with storms kind of forming up this way and then riding down into sections of the Ohio River Valley and into the mid-Atlantic and southeast. And that pattern looks to continue again through this week and likely even into the following week. So it's one of those patterns that is really locked into place and will definitely lead to an increase in thunderstorm activity as well as maybe some cooler temperatures due to those thunderstorms. So as I move this ahead into this week, again, you'll notice pretty much just the overall flow is going to be that these storms kind of form up here and work their way off to the south and east. And, again, they'll form during the afternoon hours, die off a little bit during the evening hours, and then, just cycle and repeat that general idea. So, again, this week is going to be one of those weeks where it's just going to feel a lot like summer. It's going to be hot. It's going to be muggy. We're going to have afternoon thunderstorms and, maybe even some evening thunderstorms as those storms continue into the overnight hours. So there's really not much else I can say about it other than this is a pretty normal summertime pattern with very warm weather, muggy weather, and plenty of storms. And speaking of that muggy weather, this is the dew point map, and what this helps show is just how uncomfortable it is outside. So if you look at the key down here, kind of the brighter the color you get, the more into this purple kind of range, the more muggy or the more uncomfortable it is outside. And you'll notice as I move through this week, these purples really just take a hold of the southeast, and it's not really going to change at all. It's going to stay that way for a while, going throughout at least the next week, likely even longer than that. But again, this is just kind of typical summertime weather, maybe just a little more on the extreme side with higher dew points and a little bit more of the afternoon thunderstorms. Now, the one kind of good news with this is in the 6 to 10 day range, I do expect kind of the temperatures to at least cool down a little bit as, we get this northwest flow. And I'm sorry, my dog is barking his head off in the background. But again, as we go through the 6 to 10 day period, I do expect it to cool down a little bit because of that flow from the northwest, helping to bring in some more of those thunderstorms, which of course will bring in cloud cover, and of course, that'll bring down the chance of those temperatures getting quite as hot. Now, areas south of there down here into Texas and kind of the Gulf Coast, it is still going to be pretty oppressive out there, just because you're not going to be able to benefit quite as much from that northwest flow compared to some other folks here in the mid-Atlantic and the southeast as well as the Midwest. Alrighty, so again, that's all I've got for you today. I know pretty kind of, average video with just talking about a lot of the same, but I said this back in kind of April and May that as we got into June and July, it would really be quite monotonous, some of these videos. So, I'll try to maybe spice things up a little bit into the future and, maybe add something else into these videos. But right now, I'm just pretty busy with work. And of course, I've got vacation this week, which I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, but I talked about that yesterday. So right now, I'm really just kind of on my last leg trying to get through this week before I get to vacation. So anyway, with that said, hope you have a great rest of your Monday, and I'll see you all tomorrow on the 4th of July before I go on vacation. I won't see you again until Sunday. So again, with that said, have a great rest of your Monday, and I will see you all then.